Ship's log, celestial date 218.245.12. We are making our way quickly into one of the docking bays at Farpoint Station, hopefully one that they won't expect us to land in, and then we're going to try to make our way to the Weave Hub and see if we can use that to distract them. Hello and welcome, I am Scrapperlock, and this is Starforged Alpha Cluster. We are with Krista and Mainframe, her friend, and we're in Farpoint, or about to land in Farpoint at the docking pad. We were told to land in one docking pad, and we're going to a different one because we want to avoid their soldiers. And then we're going to have to like run really fast and hide and try to avoid these guys. And so this is going to be a bit of a struggle. And I think in this case, it means we're going to have to put a tension clock on this scene. So we undertook a journey, and we got a miss. And it turned out that our shield module had been sabotaged by somebody at Relic Station, so we're going to need to go and resolve that at some point. Maybe it was not sabotaged by Shelton. Maybe it was sabotaged by the administrator, who also doesn't like us. But Krista doesn't know that, although she doesn't trust him. We fixed it. We undertook another expedition and finished the expedition. We ended up here at Farpoint. We were able to get the passcode that allowed us to come in, but they didn't trust us, and so they told us, go into this particular docking bay, we're going to bring security over, and we're going to check your ship. So what Krista decided to do was to quickly, instead of flying to the docking bay over here, and this is just a square gray paper, because we're just doing this sort of as a flowchart, but instead of going to the docking bay over here, she's coming to the docking bay over here. And she is hoping that since the troops are over here, by the time they get over here, we'll be out of here. And that's kind of the only idea they have at this point. So it's going to be her and Mainframe, and they're going to come in here and dock. And so what I've set up is a formidable journey. I was going to do this as Enter the Fray, but there's really no combat going on here yet. We may end up getting into combat, and the goal will be get the heck out of here, rather than killing everybody. But for right now, what we have is essentially a journey. I thought about doing a scene challenge, but the advantage of a journey over a scene challenge is that journeys have waypoints. And we have multiple goals here, right? They have to go sneak through Farpoint and then get away. And so we have 3 goals. One is find the artifact for Zephyr. The second is to find the symbiote for Arnav. And the third is to get to their weave core and insert the corruptor chip and then get out of there. And so I feel like we can do this as waypoints, right? If we hit a waypoint and we get a strong hit, maybe one of these things will be there. But I decided to do, even though this isn't a derelict, so it's not ruined, because of the way derelicts are set up like ships or settlements, in this case it's a settlement, because we have a settlement derelict here, I think it will be better to use the derelict as sort of the base. So I've set up Oracle arrays for it's an inhabited, because there are a couple thousand people here, an inhabited derelict, both for features and perils. And when we go through it, we're going to figure out the locations. We might be in the medical center, the engineering center. Right now we're in the docking bay, right? And so as we hit each waypoint, we'll find the different sections. And I think we're going to want to look for research to get to like the symbiote, or engineering to get to the symbiote and the relic. Probably, do they have command or something like that? Operations to get to the weave core. Right? So if we get to a lucky waypoint, then maybe we'll get to the core. And meanwhile, these guys who started over on this side of the map are going to be trying to chase us through here. We're going to have to sneak through and be quick and hopefully not be seen, and so on and so forth. So I think what they're going to do is fly in really quickly. As they fly in, each one of them is going to take controls at a different time while the other one's taking their environmental suit off, because I don't think they can wear their environmental suits. That'll be like a dead giveaway. They're going to stash the environmental suits in the back of the ship, and hopefully won't lose those environmental suits during this process. Otherwise, Chris is going to have to buy another one. And then they're going to try to land really quickly and get on in here. So I think the first thing we're going to do is face danger to land, right? And then we will begin undertaking the expedition through here, starting at the docking pad, right? Because there's no reason to like roll what this area is. We know it's a docking pad. All right, and the tension clock won't start until we land. So the first thing we're going to do is face danger. We don't have any momentum here. So we're going to face danger to try to fly in here and land in the docking pad with the ship and make sure that we can do that successfully. And so here we go. This is going to be one heck of a scene, I think. It may take more than one episode. So we're doing this quickly, so we're rolling edge. And of course, we rolled a 1 on the action die, but we rolled a 1 and a 2. We get a strong hit, we gain momentum, and we are successful. So she roars in through the open docking pad doors. As they're starting to close, they realize, they're going to the wrong place. They start closing it, but she kind of flies in, cocks the ship sideways to fit through the doors, and then immediately slams it down and lands. And the two of them pop open the back door, and they run out. She's got her gun out. Mainframe doesn't have a gun. He's got like a dagger or something on him. She's got her gun out. She's got her scanner, and she goes, "Come on, we have to hurry." And so they're in this docking area, and now they're going to. They just like pick. And Mainframe kind of guide her here, that door, and they go through one of the doors really fast before anybody has a chance. There's nobody in here, right? So before anybody has a chance to come here, they're just going to go through one of the doors, and we're going to undertake an expedition. And I think this first step is going to be quick, right? They're going to go quickly because they've got to get through a door first, and then they can start sneaking around. So the first thing they're going to do is move at speed. So we're going to go ahead and roll it, and Mainframe can't help her here. And we get a strong hit. So that's excellent. So we gain a progress, and we envision the location and reach a waypoint. So what zone do we get into immediately after we get past this docking bay? What zone do we get into? We get into... hold it. Hang on. Not supposed to do that yet. Right? The first thing we have to do is figure out if it's going to be inhabited, descriptor and focus, or derelict feature. Well, let's do the derelict feature this time since I rolled it, and then we'll figure out what else we get next time. So we're in operations right away. So maybe this is actually going to be the outside of the weave core. Did we blunder right into it? Let's see. So we go to operations. What's the area look like? It is a lounge. Okay, so it's not the it's not the area that we're looking for. So let me draw that in, and I'll bring you back. All right, so we're back. So they're in a lounge area, and this isn't what they need. The lounge, we had a strong hit, so the lounge is empty. There's nobody here, and Mainframe grabs Kristen. He says, "This way," and he takes her into a side corridor. And now they're going to go very, very quietly through this area. So they're going to be using shadow. So let us undertake an expedition here, and we're going to roll shadow. So they move quietly, no bonuses, and we get a miss. Pay the price. So now the way the tension clock works is you can up the tension clock as a method of paying the price. So we arrive at a waypoint and confront an immediate threat and pay the price. So I think that the threat is, okay, so they're catching up. What's the next place? So the next zone is research, okay? And the area is... I did it again, didn't I? I didn't roll on the oracle. Let's roll on the oracle. Roll. Okay, so this is supposed to be a derelict feature. Okay, so new zone via access. So, all right, we're not going to be in... So we get a corridor, right? So he pulls her into a corridor. We knew that. So he pulls her into a corridor. And so he pulls her into a corridor. The guys behind are catching up, but we confront a new danger here. So let us see what the peril is in the access in the corridor. A blocked or sealed path. Okay, so they start running this way, and they get to a door, and it's locked. And Mainframe tries to put in the key code, and he says, "Blast it all! They've changed the key code since the last time I was here. We got to backtrack." So they go back to the lounge, and they're going to try another exit. Okay, so they're going to go this way, and they're going to undertake their journey again. And now we only have 5 ticks left on this clock. So, all right, let's try to do it quickly, she says. Hurry. And they're going to use edge this time. And we get a weak hit. So we suffer costs en route. We can make 2 suffer move, 1 suffer move, 2 small suffer moves, 1 medium suffer move, or face a peril. I guess we'll face a peril. So let's see, what do we face? What's the next feature? The feature is going to be, again, a derelict feature. We reach a waypoint, so does this mark progress? Yes, we do. Okay, so we get progress. And now the waypoint is going to be a derelict feature, so we're going to go back here. We're going to look at the zone because we transitioned into a new zone. And the zone is engineering, okay? And so we go to engineering, and the area is a maintenance tube. Okay, so we go from a corridor, so we go out the lounge, and we end up in a maintenance tube. So he's taking her on a detour around this blocked corridor. It's a Jeffries tube, right, from Star Trek. So we're in a maintenance tube, and we face a peril at the waypoint. I don't think we want to take any suffer moves here at this point, so let's just do a peril in engineering. What do we find? A fire or energy surge. Okay, so I think, let's see. I think there's a force field here. And so they're blocked by a locked door here, and there's a force field here in the maintenance tube that's not there to stop them. It's there basically to stop energy surges or something like that. And Mainframe says, we're going to have to disable this. So they're going to have to hack it. So they go to a computer panel on the wall, and Mainframe pulls out the panel and says, we're going to have to hack this. And they have to start mucking around inside, and very quickly. And now they're going to face danger to see if they can hack this thing. If not, they're going to have to come back here and go out a different exit. Eventually, we're going to run out of exits. So let's see if they can hack this. So this is facing danger. Is there a way we can secure advantage before we do this? So Krista says, wait a second. She pulls out her scanner and she says, let's use the scanner to tell us how we have to change the polarity on this force field to turn it off. And she's going to use her scanner. So this is using her expertise. And we will roll wits. And we get, oh, that's not good. That's a miss. So yeah, that doesn't work. And so her scanner just can't read the polarity. The polarity, what are you talking about? That's not going to work. And it delays them, so I think we lose another tick, which is bad for our price. And then Mainframe is going to try to help her, and they're going to try and hack the system so that they can get through this force field. So this is, again, rolling wits, and Mainframe is helping, so we get +1. And let's see what happens. Oh, this time it worked okay. We get a weak hit. I think it costs them a little bit of time, so she loses some momentum, but we get through the force field, which enables her to continue. And so they go out the maintenance tube, and now we're going to go to the next area. and so, or try to get to the next area. So now we are once again going to undertake an expedition, and now we're going to try to do it quietly and stealthily. So unfortunately, with very low momentum, we're rolling shadow. But we rolled a 6, so we get a weak hit. So we're going to face another peril, but we do gain another progress. And now what we're going to do is figure out what we see at the waypoint. So let's check our Oracle array. And we end up again with a derelict feature. And so let's see, what zone do we end up in? We end up in the community zone. That's not good because this is probably not where they're going to keep anything. The area that we find is a park or a garden. All right, so this is basically like a solarium, I guess. It's not going to be a park, but it's going to be a solarium, right? And so this is basically an indoor, it's got maybe fountains and some other features, kind of like sort of like another lounge. And it's kind of peaceful in here. It's sort of nice, except we have to face a peril. So what do we find here in this community area? We find action and theme. All right, let's see what it says. We get summon burden. Summon burden. So let me think about that. Okay, so I think moving through this solarium is a kind of like a robot that carries supplies and stuff. It's got some crates on it, and it's slowly moving through. It's basically like an automated forklift, right? But it's a robot, and it's going to see them, and mainframe is going to say, "Oh crap, we have to turn this thing off, or it's going to raise an alarm." So I don't think we're going to get into a huge combat with it. I think we're just going to battle it. All right, so we're going to do this in just a single blur, right? She's just going to shoot at it. So we're fighting at range, and Chris is just going to fire at it. And let's see what happens. Rolling edge. Oh boy. We get a strong hit. So she shoots at it point blank. Bam, bam, bam with her magnetic pistol, and 3 slugs crash into the control system of the unit, and it just sparks and stops short. So they don't raise an alarm, and we get a little bit of momentum, which it's nice to have. And she says, "This is taking too long. We've got to get to the hub or to the center where the artifacts are." And mainframe says, "All right, well, follow me." And they're going to go out the next doorway. And we are going to undertake an expedition. And they're again going to try and move quickly. And, oh, bad. All right, oh, weak hit. So we get to a waypoint and we face a peril. So let's see what the next feature is. And we get an inhabited feature this time. So this is an inhabited location. Where are we? And we end up with conspicuous patrols or surveillance. Well, that's not good. All right, so they come to an area. They come out into another corridor, let's say. And nobody knows they're here, but people are on alert. So there's like, let's say there's a single guy on patrol, like he's standing guard, and should he be? So we made progress, right? Let's say he's guarding the Weave Center, right? Mainframe's got us there now, and he's guarding where the Weave hub is, right? Because there's an alert going on, so there's somebody guarding the Weave hub. So we're gonna have to like sneak past him or somehow get past him to get into the weave hub, right? So that'll be like the next section, I guess. This isn't exactly the way you're supposed to run journeys, but because we have so many goals here, I don't want to undertake like 3 journeys in this same place. To me, that's just super boring. So and the Weave Hub thing is a sort of an easy quest, so I don't want to make it take 10 steps just to get there. And once we're in there, we may be able to find out where the other things are. So, so we're facing a peril at the waypoint, and there's a guard. And we were moving quickly. So I don't think there's any chance to surprise this guy. They come out of the doorway. They come out of the solarium, come into the corridor, right, which goes this direction, but has the weave hub here, and the guard immediately turns and sees them. And I think now we're going to have to enter the fray. And I think the goal here is going to be to disable this guy before he can raise the alarm. So let's start another progress track. So disable guard before he raises the alarm. This is... let's think about... Mainframe is with her. So there are 2 of them. These guys are normally, I believe, dangerous. Right, we're using essentially scrap bandits. They're normally dangerous, but because... one thing I don't like is that the close icon disappears sometimes on these things. Because there are 2 people here, right? She's got a buddy. I think it'll just be troublesome fight. And so they're going to just enter the fray and try to defeat this guy. So we're not going to do it as a single battle because this isn't just a droid. So let's enter the fray. And she's on the move, so we're going to roll edge. And we get, an opportunity, +2, and we are in control, guys. So we enter the fray in control, opportunity. Okay, so I think... so let me think, what's the opportunity going to be? So I think he's surprised, right? He doesn't expect them to come out here because last he heard they were in the docking pad and people are looking for them around over this way. So he's completely surprised by this, and that allows Mainframe and Krista to kind of split up, and he's got to divide his attention between the 2 of them. And he doesn't know that Mainframe's only got a knife, and Krista's got her gun out. And so what's she going to do here? Is she going to try to argue with him, or is she just going to shoot him? I think she's going to put her gun on him and say, "Don't move." And this is going to be gaining ground. So she puts her gun on him and she says, "Don't move." And she's making a threat. Right? "Don't move if you don't want me to shoot you dead right here. I've got the drop on you." And we're rolling iron. No bonuses. We get a weak hit. We stay in control, and we can either mark progress or take momentum. I think we're going to mark progress. And he goes, all right. And he holds his hands up. And Krista says, "Mainframe, grab his gun." And so Mainframe is going to move up to grab the gun. I think this is, again, gaining ground. And we're doing this with... I mean, I think this is leverage, right? I think that's true. So I think we're rolling iron again. And Mainframe can't help her here. I mean, he's helping her in the narrative, but he can't help her with anything. So strong hit. We choose to. We can mark progress and gain momentum. This is good. We're building momentum. Mainframe grabs his gun. And she says to him, "All right, now, without turning it on, turn over your communicator. And I guess we're going to gain ground again. Or is she just going to try to clock him on the head? No, she's going to say, okay, turn over your communicator. And again, we're making a threat. And that's a miss. So I think I know what's going to happen. So he's going to pull out his communicator to hand to her, but he's going to flip it on and say, they're in the corridor outside the Weave Hub. And that's going to move the threat. And Krista says, blast it all. We're not going to burn momentum here. Because even if we get, I think even if we get a weak hit. Oh, wait, we stay in control. Hang on. Let me undo that. Let me fix that. Let me decide something different here. How do I get rid of this? Okay, we're on tension clock 2. If we burn to a weak hit, we mark progress and we stay in control, right? So I think we do want to do that. Because I don't like losing the momentum, but it keeps us in control. In Ironsworn, this would have lost us control. But in this game, we stay in control. So let's burn it to a weak hit and mark progress. So what he's going to do is he pulls out his communicator, he tries to flip it on, but he kind of drops it. And he looks down at it, and as he does this, Krista moves forward, and she's just going to clock him over the head to try and knock him out. So this is going to be taking decisive action. Right? So on our progress track here, we're just going to roll progress. And we get a strong hit, so she just knocks him out. So that's completed. And we didn't have to advance the clock because he didn't call them. So now they're at the Weave Hub. And Mainframe says, okay, the adept should be locked in and the helmet on, so he shouldn't give us any trouble. He may not even know we're there. So they're going to head inside. So if we look at this, we've found the Weave Core. So that marks progress on that. And now we have to head inside to insert the corruptor chip. So this is going to be with stealth, right? They got to sneak in, and then they're going to have to do the corruptor chip thing. So Mainframe can't help her sneak in, but once they're in, they can set the corruptor chip. So I don't think this is undertaking an expedition here. We know what this is, so this is going to be facing danger. So before we go in, is there something Mainframe can do to secure an advantage for us? So I think what he's going to do is he's been here before, right? So he's going to describe the room, and he's going to tell her like how it is situated. And so we're using expertise. And so we get a weak hit. Do we want to take 1 on the next move? Or do we want to take the momentum? Let's take the momentum. And what he tells her is, this adept has his back to us. So if we go in quietly, he won't even know we're there. If he finds out we're there, then we have a problem because he's going to know something happened and they might look for this chip. But we might have to like knock him out or maybe even kill him. And Chris is like, well, I'd rather not kill him. And so he says, well, let's try to go in quietly. So they're going to face danger, and they're going to go in with shadow. And we got to hope we get lucky because we don't have any real momentum here. And we get, of course, a miss. So they open the door, and the adept is looking right at them. And he's looking right at them because he heard the fight outside. And Krista says, blast it all. And so she puts her gun on him, and she says, come on out here. Now, this adept, can he fight them? I mean, he has kind of some powers, right? Can he maybe get back in the chair and power the security system? I think he's going to do that. So he gets back into the chair, And he puts his helmet on and he says, "I'm going to stop you." And he powers up the security system. And um, I think we're going to have to enter a battle again. And the idea is going to be to take him out before he can, like, get the security system activated and completely activated. He's going to activate like one thing at a time. And so we're going to try to defeat him. And I think this guy's troublesome, right? I really should have given Krista a stun pistol or something. Defeat the adept. And again, it's troublesome, I think. So we have to defeat the adept before he basically brings the whole base down on us, right? If we lose, he's going to bring the whole base down on us. So he says, "You're dead," and he puts the helmet back on. And Chris is like, "Okay, well, I guess if he's going to kill us, we're going to have to kill him." So she is going to just enter the fray against him again. And I think this will be kind of the last battle we do for sure tonight. So we enter the fray, and she's entering it facing off. So that's plus heart. And we get a strong hit. We gain 2 momentum, and she's in control. So she's going to fire. She hates doing this. She doesn't really like killing people, but she's going to fire. Now, of course, this is going to leave a dead body in the hub, but hopefully they won't discover what we put in there. So she's going to fire at him. Or is she going to fire at him, or is she going to fire at... I think, so there are all these tubes coming out from the helmet. I think she's going to fire at the tubes and try to take them out. And this is Edge. And we get a weak hit. So we mark progress twice. Boom, boom. But we're in a bad spot. So she fires, and bam, one of the hoses comes out. And bam, one of the other hoses comes out. But she hasn't knocked them all out yet. And he activates the security system. So what's he going to do? Or does he activate it? Let's see what he does. Let's roll the combat actions here. Where are we? Miscellaneous combat action. He is going to change weapons or tactics. Okay, so she severs him from the security system, and what he's going to do instead is what? Let's try action and theme. Focus bond. Okay, well, she severed his connection, so he throws the helmet off, and I think he's just going to dive for her and try to grab the gun out of her hand, right? Try to tackle her. So she's going to react under fire, and she's going to try to dodge out of the way. So this is Edge. And we get a strong hit. We get momentum, and she gets in control. So she's going to... she's dodged out of the way. She's going to roll. She rolls, a couple of times, comes up in a kneel, holds her gun with both hands, and fires at him. Has no choice at this point. And this is Edge. And we get a weak hit. So we make progress twice. That's great. We're at 10 progress, but we're in a bad spot. So she fires at him, and she hits him. But not before he crashes into her and knocks her gun out of her hand. So she's kind of struggling with him now, and they're kind of at close quarters, and she's going to have to, he's been hit, but he's been, hit in the shoulder. Maybe the wound is ultimately going to be fatal, but right now he's kind of got her down on the ground, and he's tackled her, so she's going to just try to, knee him in the family jewels. So this is going to be with iron. Yep. And we miss and pay the price. So I think she completely misses him. So what's he doing? Shift the fight to a new area. Okay, so he's going to grab her and like sort of get her up from behind and pick her up and kind of drag her out into the corridor, right, where maybe if enemies will come faster, and we're going to need to pay the price. So if we look at pay the price here, oh, you know what? I think instead of this, I think mainframe is put in danger. So I think, well, no, I don't think so. I think she doesn't have her gun on her, and he drags her out into the corridor, and he's gonna like hurt her, right? So she's gonna take some health. So he like she tries to grab at him, and he like bites her hand, and right, so right through her glove, and so we take some harm, and now she has to endure harm. We have to remember, if we get a strong hit on this, we get back in control. So we endure harm, and we get a strong hit. So she shakes it off. Her glove takes most of the brunt of it, and she pulls her hand out of the way, and we're in control. And she is going to just she's going to just do like a judo move and slam him down onto the floor, or try to, and knock him out. Right? So this is a progress move. Let's end progress. We get a strong hit. So she knocks him out. And that completes that track. Wow. And so then she runs back in, and mainframe hasn't been helping her because he's already in here. And he's like, with all the damage done in here, they're never even going to notice this, right? He's like doing some damage to other sections of it, but then he goes around to a part that hasn't been damaged at all, and he opens a little panel, and he sticks his little USB thing or whatever it is, his little chip into the system. He takes out the chip that's supposed to be there. He sticks his chip in there. It looks exactly the same. He says they're never going to notice this, and he closes the panel. So that means, what's going on here? Oh, it just took a while to appear. That means that we have inserted the chip. And now we just have to get out of here. So she says, all right, come on, let's get out of here. And what mainframe says is, there's another hatch, another way out. Let's go out this way. So they're going to go out a different way. So they're going to undertake an expedition and try to get out, and they're going quickly again. So we're rolling edge, and we got some momentum. We end up with a weak hit. So we get to a new area, which is going to be an inhabited feature. So we get to a descriptor and focus. Damaged life form. Okay, so let's see. We mark progress, right? I think we're in the biolab, and this is where the symbiote is. So we're in the biolab. And we've now escaped the core. And so that finishes this requirement. And I think that that's enough to complete our Iron Vow. We did it, Krista said. we disrupted the weave. And we get a strong hit. So, if we look at fulfilling the vow, right, we got a strong hit on troublesome, so we get 1 tick over here, right? And we're all done with that. So she did what she promised to mainframe. Not that that matters, because he's now a bond. And we've completed that quest. And I think we now have the symbiote. So now we got a weak hit, so there's a peril here. What's the peril? Signs that you are being watched or followed. Okay, so they come in here, and there's nobody in here. The symbiont is in here. I think, actually, I'm going to overrule this. Actually, I'm going to say that the peril here is that the symbiote is behind some kind of a force field. And they're going to have to find a way to lower the force field in order to get the symbiote out of there. So they're going to have to face danger to get the symbiote out. I think that makes the most sense, rather than signs that we're being followed. We already know we're being followed, right? There's already a ticking clock. So Krista says, all right, well, this must be this is the symbiote. I saw one of these in a hologram. And it looks like, what do they look like again? Let's go check the journal. The symbiote, it looks like a silvery blue eel, and it's floating in like an anti-grav chamber surrounded by a force field. And so here's the problem. Mainframe says that thing probably can't live outside of this force field. We're going to have to find a containment, something to contain it. So Krista says, well, let's scan it and see if I can figure out what it needs. So she pulls out her scanner again, and she's going to scan it. Does she have any assets here? Okay, so she's trying to recall esoteric knowledge. I think she might have heard of this before. So let's give her the +1. And see if she has any idea how to deal with this symbiont before, as she's ever heard of this before. Maybe in some of the scratch on her ship's corridor, she's seen references to this. So we get +1 on this, and we are doing wits. Mainframe cannot help her here. And we get a weak hit. We succeed. So we'll take the momentum, and she says, all right, so we need the following, and she blathers out some technobabble of what they need for the containment. And so, do we have what we need here? Can we find what we need here? This is actually, I feel like this is scavenging. Is there a way to do that? Resupplying? Not really. So let me just check this, and I'll bring you back. All right, so I think this is gather information. They're going to look around the lab and see if they can find anything that they might be able to use. Is there like a portable containment field generator or something like that? And so we're going to gather information. Again, I don't feel like this is Mainframe's area. He's not a lore hunter or anything like that. So it's just Krista figuring this out. And we get a strong hit. We get a story clue. We get our momentum maxed. And the story clue is suggests a history of similar incidents. Okay, so what Chris is going to say is, this thing reminds me of another type of creature that I've seen before like this on, and she names some planet that she's been to before. And I know how to rig up one of these containment fields. So she takes a portable, it's equivalent of a cat carrier, but a portable containment field generator, and she starts mucking around with it to set it up. So she has it set up. So now what they're going to have to do is move this thing, right? They're going to have to turn off its containment field, grab it, put it into the portable carrier, and then turn that one's containment field on. So I feel like this is facing danger. And I feel like this is doing it with... Is it with agility? I think it's with expertise. I think she's doing wits. No extra bonuses here, but we got lots of momentum, so hopefully this will work. We get a weak hit. We succeed. I think it takes a little bit more time than we would like. But she manages to get this thing into the portable containment field generator and turn it on and hands it to Mainframe and says, you hold on to this because I'm the one with the gun. So now if we look at the progress, not this one, this one. If we look at the progress, we have found the symbiote. And so we've got another progress on this Iron Vow. So we found the symbiote, and she says, well, this should help Arnav. So we're about halfway through this delve, and we found the symbiote, and they haven't figured out where we are yet. Although we have left a couple of bodies behind us. So that's pretty bad. I mean, both of those guys are unconscious. And I would imagine, although I didn't say so, like they probably trussed them up and gagged them and shoved them in the back of the weave hub. But if anybody finds them, they can tell these guys where Mainframe and Krista went. So we'll figure out what happens in the rest of this delve, probably in the next episode. This is not at all going the way I would have expected, but it's going pretty well. We've gotten mostly good hits and stuff. Again, I want to point out that you don't have to lose clock on every pay the price. It's just one of your options. And I feel like we should lose it more for failing this track than for failing other things. Although obviously if we fail like a battle completely or something, then we might lose a wedge of this track. So, all right. I think that's a pretty good place to stop. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Until next time, I am Scrapperlock, and this has been Starforged Alpha Cluster.